work again at the Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and the topic is to prepare to the winter together with customers, and the speakers are Chief State Inspector of Ukraine on Energy Supervision and Deputy Chief. Volodymyr Rubanka is the Chief, and Anatolyi Hushlya is Deputy Chief. So Volodymyr Rubanka starts. Microphone. Hello everybody, again I am Volodymyr Rubanka, Chief Inspector of Ukraine on Energy Supervision, and I'd like to first introduce you to what the state supervision system does and about the functions that we do. As of today, when the fuel and energy complex of Ukraine works in a very complicated situation on providing the stable work of the energy system of Ukraine, the urgent tasks are maintaining the electricity grid in a adequate state, providing customers with enough electricity, optimization of the day schedule of consumption, and providing for the supervision of the use of different means. While preparing to the autumn and winter period of 2015-16, the state supervision gives a special attention to the technical state of electric grid. And during the period of our supervision, the main reasons of technological violations are inclement weather, something like 44% of all the disruptions, and unsatisfactory technical maintenance, which is responsible for 35% of disruptions. At the moment, the state supervision system supervises all the electricity transporting organizations and also monitors socially important customers and monitors the liquidation of disruptions. In January to September of this year, 7,000 electricity grids and 15,000 poles were repaired, also at the request of our state supervision system. Electricity supply organizations have additionally cut the branches of the trees that are under the wire, and also we are responsible for 470, almost 8,000 systems of protection were restored at electricity supply organizations, and the situation with the electricity supply to almost 1,000 customers of social sphere was improved, including schools and kindergartens and hospitals. Besides, we constantly monitor the state of preparation for the heat and warming season. We have monitored the activity of over 160,000 of subjects of relations in this field of electricity supply, and from the beginning of the period of the preparation period, almost 25,000 subjects of relations in the sphere of energy supply addressed us, and over 24,000 such objects have got the acts of the state of preparedness. Also, we consider the problematic issues that arise that the customers have in the process of using electricity. We provide consultation and advice in the sphere of legislation in this sphere, and we have considered more than 2,500 requests and claims and complaints from people who use electricity, and over 80% of those issues were solved in favor of those who filed claims. And the electricity supply organizations have brought the technical state of electricity grid to the adequate situation, and we have also been restoring a lot of supply of electricity to customers, which allows to avoid court cases in response to claims of our customers. And now, in more details about problematic issues that may arise or probably are already waiting for us in autumn and winter. And now Anatolyi Hushlya, Deputy Chief Inspector.
Good afternoon to everyone. My report is on the issues that Ukraine is facing in general and the population during the autumn and winter period, which every year is a challenge not just for energy sector specialists, but for the population of Ukraine as well. Unfortunately, because of the structure of energy sector, we have very uneven schedule of the consumption of electricity in each region and in general, which is characterized by the peak of the load in evening hours, no load during the night, and almost even consumption in the daytime. The difference between the peak and low figures is about 7,000 megawatt in winter and about 5,000 megawatt in summertime. The industry consumes about 42%, the population 31%, the communal and other consumers together about 20%, transportation around 6%, and other groups like agriculture, construction sector about 3 and 1%. So you can see that the regulators of the consumption of electricity could be only the industry and the population. Also, communal consumers of non-industrial sector. How can we regulate the consumption of electricity? The industrial consumers have to move their production processes to the period which is outside of the peak load. Unfortunately, the industry cannot do it. Everything that could be transferred, all the works that could be transferred to the night hours have been transferred, and if we compare that to 2014, the total consumption basically decreased by 18.8%. We now have the population which reduced the consumption, but that is because of Crimea and some regions of Donbass. But in other parts of Ukraine, the consumption grows from 2 to 4% annually. And the impact of the population, we all come from work and we turn on everything. starting from TV sets, and we turn on lights everywhere. We start cooking and doing other things. So to basically, it is possible to help the situation in an easy way. First of all, what we need is energy-saving electric devices which are to be installed at home. That helps to save up to 80% of electricity compared to traditional systems of lighting. 10% more could be saved if such devices as a computer and TV set is disconnected from electricity. About 50% of electricity is consumed by refrigerators and other devices, especially old-class devices. So we would recommend everyone to switch to modern A-class, A-plus class electric devices. To reduce the consumption in peak hours is possible, taking into account just the way people behave. Such powerful devices as air conditioners, the dishwashers, warm floors, boilers, they should be operating from 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. But not everyone is following these recommendations. About 30% of natural gas could be saved by our communal services if they regulate the temperature of the water in the system of central heating and central hot water supply. It's very simple. In the boilers where there are powerful heat supplying plants, the modern equipment is to be installed which would be which would be heating the water starting from again 11 p.m. And this way we will help to add loading to the electricity grid at night. This way the consumption of electricity could be regulated. Another important thing in optimizing the electricity consumption is applying the tariffs which are differentiated according to the zones of consumption. The procedure again is very simple. You need to send the application about the change of tariff, and they have to install the metering device which would help to save about 50% of money. The only problem is that the energy supply organizations don't have enough meters and personnel that could install them. Now the population started requesting installation of these meters, and in some regions of Ukraine there are delays, and that causes non-understanding of the population why we delayed the switch to differentiated electricity meters. Basically, the energy supplying or electricity supplying organizations would not suffer if the population is transferred to these differentiated tariffs. That is all I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
You're welcome to ask questions. Natalka Prutka-Glavkom, could you please tell us, the first question is why Kasich has filed for dismissal, and another question is about installing meters. Do you have data on how many people have applied, and how much power consumption was moved to the nighttime? Who is producing these meters? Why there are such delays? I, for instance, went through this procedure, and it took a month and a half. This is just a catastrophe, a disaster. Thank you very much. Volodymyr Rubanka will tell you. Maybe we should buy, well, as far as Kasich is concerned, the inspection of the state supervision is subject to the Ministry of Energy and Coal Industry, so we do not quite follow what's going on in this ministry. As far as meters are concerned, accounting and meters, you know, they are being bought according to the confirmed investment programs. It depends on how much money was given to regional energy departments by the National Commission on Regulating Energy. So on this depends the number of meters they have bought. And of course this is individual for every regional department, and the figure is different for every region. And as far as differentiating meters are concerned, we haven't monitored this information, but if you need it and if there's an interest, we of course can collect such information additionally and provide you with it. The operator of accounting are regional electricity delivering organizations. That's why in the tariffs there's a component that goes for them to buy and install the meters. However, because, you know, in spite of the fact that all our electricity supply organizations are private or partially private, they still enjoy the system of tendering like the state enterprises. You know, there are proposals, and every electricity supply organization, according to the practice that they have their pack of meters, and that's why, as a rule, they lean on some manufacturers. This problem is connected to differential control and accounting. It was unexpected for them. They could not requalify their demand to specialized manufacturers, so this procedure to some extent is does not go as fast as it should. when the government said that the population should switch to differentiated consumption. But I think that next year this problem is not going to be as serious as you've mentioned in your question. And the meters, depending on the power that they have to consume, they have different prices, and the average price is from 1,500 to 2,000 and sometimes to 3,500 hryvnia. Any other questions, colleagues? Dmitro Klemenko, Kyiv Regional Television. What about the modules on heat main lines? Any information how many were installed? Well, you know, if this process was systemic, I would not even mention it, because it is responsible for a rather low volume of consumption as far as the communal branch is concerned. However, it all goes along the way of initiative introduction with some subjects of economic activity, and I can tell you today that we know just one fact. In Zhytomyr region, a city clinic has introduced a boiler room on their own, and they have saved almost 30% of what they were spending on heating. And you know, of course, how pricey, how expensive gas is. No, it is not expensive. Several dozens of thousands of hryvnia. This is a Ukrainian development. Thank you very much, the speakers and everybody present. Regrettably, our time is already up, but you can continue your communication in the lobby. More than that, we are open to communicate with everyone. You have our electronic addresses and all this kind of stuff.